Man, I'm hungry. I'm shaky levels of hungry. Really should have eaten something before we started recording. Which we have, by
Ah,
the way. Yeah.
wow. Amazing.
What an intro.
Fantastic.
What an intro.
What an intro.
Yeah. I'm great at them. You know. Really would have been better if I'd started recording before Patience said, oh, I know you started recording. I hadn't. But it would have been better if I had. Yeah. Mm.
So,
Hi, everybody. Like,
yeah.
I,
Hello.
first there was no conversation was happening, and then I prod by going, "Hey, we're recording, by the way." Start
Yeah,
trying
I
to get
didn't know
something
when you
going,
started.
and nothing happened still. So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like that's all right. Let's go with that then. We suck is our intro. Is what we're gonna do. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hi everybody. Podcast is going. Hmm.
Yeah. I I was very busy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got called in to work in the learning center at the school that I tend to sub for a lot. And so that meant I was working with small groups of English learner students
It,
for like language stuff.
is what learning center? It's a school. What does
Yeah,
that distinguish?
the learning center is it's something that's on the school. It's kind of a little area that's works as like a support structure that helps with English learner students who don't have English, students who don't have English as a first language.
Oh, okay.
It's where all the intervention blocks are. So you have those students, you have students who are behind in the writing and writing comprehension, and then you have like in the latter parts of the day, you have the math intervention. So students who are way behind on math, they come in and they can do math practice, get corrected, so on and so forth. You give out rewards generously for any students that are coming in. Um, make it a positive experience. You know, it's a small group, so everything's pretty chill.
Makes sense.
That was very nice. I also played the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I did get recommended that on Steam, and I was like, hmm, hmm, hmm. I mean, I
Um,
played the original. Does it like it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam? Does it materially do more and expand upon the original Stanley Parable, or is it Ultimate Deluxe in terms of maybe adding a couple of more ways for things to go?
so first things first, going through it, you do like a couple of the endings, and it's like okay, some of the endings have been changed by the way,
Okay.
and they've added in additional ones just on it. And then once you get to a certain point, you just get through a couple of the endings, and then there is a door that appears that says the words "new content" on it.
Okay.
And then you go into the new content area, and thus begins a very lengthy criticism of video games
Oh boy.
and the idea of a Stanley the Parable Ultra Deluxe re-release with slightly more content. It's amazing.
I mean, okay. Mm,
Uh, I would say there is a lot of thought put into this. Um, it's also hilarious.
I
Um,
assume and hope they have fun with this at
yes,
least rather than just
yes.
because it's funny to make jokes like that, but also they are charging like £14 I think it is on Steam. So
It's 25 bucks. Um,
It's a fair amount of money for a joke that is basically, why the fuck did you buy this? So,
It's
you know.
it's enough content that I would say it actually doubles the amount of content in the game already at the very least.
Hmm.
Um, which that's really nice. I don't want to talk too much about what is in the game because I think a
Oh,
big part of
naturally, yeah.
playing the Stanley Parable is going into it blind.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of the things that were discussed in the original Stanley Parable I feel like are expanded upon in the new release. Um, has some of my favorite jokes out of I think any video game. And possesses features like a bucket. There's a bucket in the game
Cool.
and an almost infinite hole.
Zero, I feel like you had the right idea when you said, hey, I don't want to talk about this too much. So, without context, you're just saying random things. It doesn't
I
mean anything.
know it's great. Go play this game. It's fantastic.
Hmm.
Um, I like just talking to my friends, being like, "Do you know that in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe there is a bucket?" And they're like,
Okay.
"What?" Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Substantially more
so
content. Yeah, yeah. Uh, there's a lot more. Substantially more content, quote unquote content.
Hmm.
Um, and you can tell that they had a lot of fun making this game. So I would highly recommend the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Okay.
Um, if you played, it got ported to the Nintendo Switch, so I played it on the Switch. Um, and there are a few changes on the Switch. The biggest one being that in the boss's office in the Stanley Parable, there is a painting of somebody holding a gun at a panda, and in the Nintendo Switch version, it is Mario's arm holding the gun.
That is not the direction I was expecting that to go. Like, well done on that build up, because I was like, okay, yeah, gun at a panda. That makes sense that they would change that in a Switch version, because there's the kid friendly console. That makes sense that they would want to censor and change that. I don't have to like it, but I can understand why they did it. And then you're like, no, it's Mario holding the gun. Like, fuck. Okay.
It's yeah. More than doubles the content in the game already. Um, it, one last thing I'll say is that the game actually features an epilogue of sorts,
Hmm.
uh, which means there is kind of an ending that you can get to,
Hmm.
which was not previously in the Stanley Parable.
There were endings, but they were all interchangeable, and
Yeah,
getting to all of them was kind of the point. But this sounds like more of a definitive. This is the end of the thing. You can stop now, kind of thing.
kind of. Well, still keeping true to the game's message. Um, the end is never the end. But yeah, played that. That was
Man,
great.
I'm going to be honest. Like, all while you were talking about it and while I was remembering my experiences with the Stanley Parable, I kept, oddly enough, Undertale kept popping into my head because they have Undertale took some lessons from that game, I believe.
Mm. I think quite a few games took lessons from it.
Mm. And like the malleability of the content and how it's presented and how it reacts to what you've done previously in previous games and stuff like that. And yeah, just like really big examples of just how it treats every time you played the game as part of playing the game of every run,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yes. Um, Even if you close the game and you load it up, there will be something new happening each time you do it.
Anyway,
Yeah. Big recommend for me. I also let's see. I started DMing a new game, and that went over well. In that game, a lot of the characters are playing. A lot of the players are playing characters that are younger. You know, like still like high school young. Um, which makes it kind of funny when when one of the players is like, "Well, I'm going to be the old um, dragon type character," and you know they break past a guard barricade to go investigate something that had landed um, outside of their town, and the guards find the group, and they find a bunch of teenagers and one not teenager. Okay, you're under arrest. We got to take you in for questioning here in the middle of these dark woods here. And oh my gosh, one of those teenagers is like bleeding. Oh my gosh, oh no. So one of my players may be starting in an interrogation room next session. Because the one that was bleeding out from the encounter that they had fought together was the guard captain's daughter. So that'll be fun.
Does your setting have CPS? Because I feel like it's gonna go some places that you weren't expecting.
Not exactly, but you know, when one character is shouting, "Well, I'm the guardian dragon of this place," and it's like, what guardian dragon? It's like, oh. It'll be interesting delving into that. DMing for a new party and telling a new story. In addition to that, I got placed for my student teaching position in the fall. So
cool.
In the fall, I'm not going to be able to appear on the podcast recording on Tuesday because it's going to be like every single weekday that we're going to be doing the student teaching.
So and I'm going to be a teacher at that point.
Kind of. I'm a teacher's aide, basically.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be in the classroom each day working with the like my cooperating teacher, who is their job to kind of like teach me the ropes, in a sense.
Actually, on that note, I might be having a change in schedule coming up soon as well. Like, just might. And it would actually be a better one. I might be getting an offer letter from another job, that might be giving me basically an all-around upgrade on my current job. $2 more per hour and more flexible hours overall. So I might be able to be free on Tuesdays at 4:30 going forward if I get the job. I am
Oh,
extremely optimistic about it, but nothing guaranteed yet.
nice.
I feel like
Yeah.
schedule changes is something we should really probably just save until after we're done recording. But yes, that's
Yeah.
really good news.
So like had a whole like little meeting and dinner, and it's like I'm gonna be soon teaching for a second grade class in the fall
Yay!
at a school that I
Specifically
have
for
substitute for.
second grade and not teenagers. Yay!
Yeah. The second grade is like it's a nice I guess sweet spot because it's after like kindergarten at the start of the year. A lot of them haven't been in school before. They don't know how it works.
Yeah, they've learned a little bit of discipline, and they aren't old enough to try and throw off that discipline.
Yeah, first grade, they're getting better, but by second grade, they are getting a lot of those foundations for like reading and writing down. So you can ask more of them, and they're more disciplined, which helps. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but as far as I can think, that's about it for me. I mean, some sad things happened, but then some happy things happened. I guess is the only other thing, and I'm not sure if I want to talk about that on the podcast.
That's fair enough.
But that's it for me.
I have very little, but I have something. So I talked about Rogue Legacy 2 a while back because
Yeah, I had the full release. Yeah.
Yeah, it has. I talked about how I wasn't really feeling it. This was before release. I think it was 0.8 version. I can't really remember, but it was like the Dragon's Vow or something. And I wasn't really feeling it. The systems were a little bit obtuse, and it hedges on you doing some very specific things that aren't part of the main gameplay loop to advance in in the game's mechanics, which was a little odd. The full release was coming out, and I was like, I don't really care though. I don't want to go back to it. So I went back to play Rogue Legacy 1 instead. In hindsight, yes, Rogue Legacy 2 is a massive improvement on Rogue Legacy 1. Just mechanically and in variety and in just about everything, in every single way. Like I say, the upgrade mechanics for that specific thing that was weird and obtuse, that is still absolutely true. But in literally every other way, it is such a massive improvement, it is actually hard to go back to the original.
Yeah, because I did play Rogue Legacy 1, and it's an okay game, but it is by modern standards, there's a lot that it could be improved on.
There are so many that have come since then. Like it was one of the first ones that like really capitalized on the roguelite genre.
Yeah.
And for its time, it was fantastic. It was a little bit of Metroidvania and all that shit, and the inheritance system was cool, and the traits system was cool and unique and often amusing for what they decided to add in, like where you are the one and the comment for it is there is no spoon, and basically you just see everything in a weird computery sort of thing, like all the environments are computerized and digitized instead of being a castle or whatever. Like it had a lot of neat ideas, and it was great for its time. Nowadays, it has shown its age, absolutely. So this new release for it, Rogue Legacy 2, is fantastic because it still has all of those old things that I enjoyed about it. Less of the unique and entertaining traits than I would like, but there is still plenty in there. They focus more on gameplay than on just being odd little quirks of the game. Than, you know, so it will actually affect things mechanically instead of being a stylistic difference more often than not. But yeah, like just the class system having a very massively different experience depending on what class you're playing is great. Like every single class, there are like 15 classes at this point, and every single one of them has a very unique feel to it.
Because I remember in the original Rogue Legacy, the only way that you could get like anything close to a class would be a very specific descendant showing up, RNG based.
Yeah, and that is still how it works for the most part, especially in early game. But there are ways that you can lock in, hey, I want this specific class, or I want them to have this specific spell. Like, you can pick one of your heirs to always be that specific class that you want, kind of thing. If you really want to. That is an ability you can purchase through that odd and obtuse system that I mentioned before. But yeah, like every single class has its own unique feeling. You can vaguely group them together into certain different, broader class types. Like you've got the very melee focused classes, and then you got the magically focused classes, and then you've got the ranged focused classes, and then you got the bard that's just fucking weird. But yeah, they've spent a lot of time making each one feel really unique beyond just they have a specific talent that they can use on the Y button and that's it. All of them have different weapons that do different things. They move differently. The talents themselves operate in entirely different ways. Like the barbarian has the shout ability, so it can just freeze everything for a little bit and clear the screen of projectiles. And it can only use that ability after it's been hit. So it gets hit, it can use it again. But for a lot of other abilities, it's a cooldown timer. So, you have the this new update added more classes. That I recently tried one of the new ones, which was Astromancer, because I just unlocked it, and their main attack is to create a black hole.
Yo.
Which is a very short range attack, so they create a black hole that is about a foot in front of them. Doesn't seem especially safe, but whatever. That sort of draws enemies in and will do more damage if they are at the center of the black hole. They also have the ability, I forget what it's called, but basically they can fly and are invincible for like 2 seconds, which is on a cooldown timer of about 7 seconds. So basically it's a very fragile class, but you can do some crazy bullshit if you get really good at it.
That sounds fun.
It's kind of wild how varied the game is, and it's really easy to miss that if you get bogged down in I just want to play this class. Like, it really shines when you are willing to get stuck in and experiment and try all of the different things that all the different classes and all the different abilities and all the different spells and all the different mechanics that are incorporated in the game, and just try everything out and see, and like give each class a couple of goes to try and get to grips with their strengths and weaknesses and how they play.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where like I think of like the Souls games, right, where you have your build and then you go for your various weapons that you go for. But you play it again, you go for a different build. You are going to have a very different experience with different weapons and different things because that's just how much of a difference any sort of like class-based system or different way to play, how that affects the experience.
Yeah, like, you know, to use the Souls analogy, like you've got casters. Yeah, okay, casters play completely different to the melee classes. That's fine. But then you've got, say, a mace wielder, and they have a really short range, and they crush against certain types of enemies, but are rubbish against other ones. And then you've got like katanas that have way more range, so you don't have to get quite as close in and in the danger zone, as it were. But it has different strengths and weaknesses depending on what they're fighting against. It's that kind of variety and that kind of divergent gameplay styles, depending on what exactly you're using, that really makes this game shine. And I kind of didn't see that the first time, I will admit, because one, it feels like they have said they have pretty significantly changed the balance for a lot of things in how 1.0 works compared to previous versions. It feels a lot tighter. It feels a lot more balanced in terms of what class is good and what class isn't. There were some specific things that I probably shouldn't get into because it's really getting into the weeds, but also I don't remember. But I can say definitively that the balance changes have actually made it a much more fun experience to play, and meant that the variety is a lot more accessible for when you're playing it, and you start to see a lot of the benefits and drawbacks of the different classes a lot faster and easier. So you don't just get into a rut of, I'm just going to pick the really simple melee class every time because that's the one I know how to play, kind of thing. So yeah, that's actually a good game. And I look forward to actually finishing it this time. Yeah. Might even do the New Game Plus stuff. That would be cool.
I think it's kind of interesting because I'm also going back to a game. Just recently, I decided I would boot up Xenoblade 2 again. Because the Xenoblade 3 got moved up to coming out in like a few months.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out.
I know not, but all right.
It was supposed to come out to December, but they're like, yeah, no, we're good, and it's coming out in like July. So it was a weird reshuffling where Xenoblade got moved up, but Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed.
That is actually a little worrying. I'm gonna be honest, because that is explicitly deciding, we don't really need the holiday window.
Well, they have the new Pokemon game in the holiday window.
I suppose, but 2 games don't hurt, and if those 2 games come out fairly separate, like say one's September and one's November, that's that's gravy. That's both of those are gonna have their own window to succeed, and they both also kind of fall into that holiday sweet spot. But choosing to release in July is less. I don't know. It's a worrying change, is all I'll say.
Well, I think part of it was a lot of the people who are in Monolith Soft and make the Xenoblade games also worked on Breath of the Wild. So I think it's an issue of like manpower, of like, well, if we move some of our people over here, we can get this out earlier, but it will delay Breath of the Wild, and something like that. I don't know
Maybe.
The specifics.
Maybe
it's a weird one, but anyway, that game's coming out like in a couple of months, so I'm just gonna go play through the second game. And I remember I had some criticisms about the game, especially regarding the main character Rex. I did not like him very much. So I'm gonna play the game again and see if that changes my opinion. With all the DLC out and everything. So
I really should. I've been spending a lot less time with Gacha. I'm gonna be honest. And that has freed up so much fucking time to actually play video games. I'm being so much more productive and enjoying things more. It's amazing.
Yeah. Gacha are nice when I need to keep my hands busy when I'm watching anime, which I haven't been watching a lot of anime or just shows in general, really.
Yeah.
But when I want to just sit down and play video games, sometimes you just gotta sit down and play a video game.
Speaking of sitting down and playing a video game, I don't think I talked about this at any point because it's been a while since we did a podcast. But I also got Star Wars Complete Sky. Which one was it called? Fuck. Skywalker Saga. That's it. Lego Star Wars, the new one. Yeah. It's a good game.
I need to play that one.
It is a very good game. It has a bizarrely robust combat system for a Lego game.
I was gonna pick that up one of these this week.
Yeah. There are very many lightsaber duels, and they usually feel kind of fucking awesome.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's fucking good. Yeah, so I have been playing that. Well, I stopped playing that very, very recently because, I was playing Rogue Legacy 2, and that's very engrossing, it turns out. Go figure. But before that, I have been playing Lego Star Wars, and it is very good. It is very enjoyable. There is one specific thing that has been really, really annoying, which is everything is great. There's a bunch of different classes that can do specific things. It's a Lego game. That's how they tend to roll. One of them is basically completely locked out until you do one of two things. You get to episode 6 and unlock the Ewok. I can't remember the name. Was it Wicket? It might have been Wicket. Or you start episode 7 that sucks and you get Rey, who sucks.
It seems like a pretty obvious choice there.
It does, until you remember that the episodes are bunched into 3. So if you want to do episode 6, you have to do 4 and 5 first.
Okay.
I did not know this when I decided to do the entire series chronologically.
Dear.
Yeah. So, I had fun doing the first 3 episodes. Well, episodes 1, 2, and 3 specifically, to be perfectly clear. Also, while tearing my hair out for the completionist monkey brain that I have, not being able to get all of the things in the areas because I don't have that one specific class because they won't give it to me.
Trust the completionist instinct.
It's doubly frustrating because I bought the Deluxe edition that gives you a bunch of characters from The Mandalorian and Solo and all that crap. So it actually did give me one of that class from the very beginning. Which class? Scavenger. That was it. Scavenger class. So I did have one of those characters that can do those things, but it actively won't let you do them until you do one of the tutorials that are in the story. So you can have the character of that class, but it won't be able to do anything.
Oh no.
It's really shitty.
That sucks.
Yeah, kinda. So that was very frustrating, but I bit the bullet after doing episode 3 and just did episode 7 until I got the thing. It's just it's really messed with my OCD. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, because I had the choice of continue ignoring all of the collectible shit that I really love, or do things out of order when I was trying to do it in a specific order.
And both of those are brain rot.
Yeah, it kind of messed with me. I haven't played it since I did the Ray thing, to be honest. It's just a mild niggling frustration that. But yeah, it's a good game. If you can get your brain to shut the fuck up, it's a really good game and enjoyable to play. I very much recommend it. Yeah.
Well, I will be picking it up later, so
Yeah.
think I'll try to avoid the thing that plagued you.
Through which method? Just ignoring it or doing episode 7 first?
I'll do episode 7 first, just so I can get the bad stuff out of the way.
Yeah, so that was cool. I will get back to it because I have decided I'm going to 100% that game for some reason. I don't know why. That one is the one I want to do. I guess because I did the original Lego Star Wars complete saga.
I never actually did I did Lego Star Wars when I was a kid, but I don't think I ever did anything that involved the new movies, so I don't know what that looks like.
I think this is the first time they've had the new films in them.
Because I'm pretty sure I did the prequels and the original trilogy.
Yeah, they've had 3 games. They've had the original trilogy, they've had the prequels. Those 2 were then combined into the complete saga, which was the one that I played. And then they had one for the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I didn't play that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I also saw that there is DLC so you can play as the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I said that. That is
Yeah.
That's either part of the deluxe edition that just gives you all that shit, or you can buy them individually and get them.
Because it was like Mandalorian, and they had like
Solo.
Rogue One characters and Solo, and like that's great that Mandalorian is there, but I don't know the names of the characters from Rogue One.
Yeah, neither do I. There was the woman who was the main character who existed.
There was the robot that I liked, and there was the one guy. Yeah, and then as for the Solo movie, well, it's
It has young Lando Calrissian, which is kind of cool. He's in that pack.
Young Solo. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll see for myself.
I honestly hope they do like not just character packs but full DLC campaigns for that. That would be really cool.
Yes.
Like if they actually decided, hey, we're gonna do The Mandalorian and add it to this one game and not do a specific Mandalorian game.
Mandalorian expansion pass.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And one for Kenobi, assuming that it doesn't suck.
I hope. I hope it is good.
One might hope.
Is there anything else, Casey?
Sorry, I just hope. Star Wars. No, I got nothing else. That was pretty much it. I had a good time doing the writing and have way more time to do the writing and not be compulsively looking at a thing and starting some fucking timers and all that shit. So much time wasted. I feel really fucking stupid. But whatever. How you doing, patient? Aside from the potential new great job and everything?
Well, I am dealing with one other thing that is also pretty good.
Hmm.
Where is it? I just had it here. Isn't it? Okay, here. I was looking in the wrong place. Okay. And now a scene from The Price is Right.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. That was not very clear. It didn't come through very well, but a brand new car is what it said.
Brand new car.
Yeah.
Oh. That looks nice.
Was this a gift? That's with the ribbon on the front?
Yeah, my van was getting on in years.
Hmm.
It was a 2005 model, so yeah, my mother just uh, went out and got me this, or
Awesome.
we went out and got this.
I don't know anything about cars. I assume it is a very nice one.
Yeah, it's a 2016 model, bought used with a relatively low mileage on it, so should last a good several years going forward. Much less of a safety hazard than what I was driving before. But that's the main reason she got it for me.
Hmm. Awesome.
Yeah. So aside from that, though, not much out of the ordinary. Oh. Except that at my current job, we had corporate visiting this week.
Oh boy.
And I'm not really surprised by this. I was half expecting it for some reason because that's just how my luck goes. But they visited almost every branch, but before they could visit mine, they suddenly had to leave for whatever reason. So I didn't end up meeting them.
That sounds like a
However,
blessing, frankly. I don't know how that would go
oh yeah.
well.
And on the other hand, uh, they they were unhappy with the fact that some of the branches were quote unquote overstaffed, which was leaving other places stretched too thin. So they decided to redelegate employees to where they were assigned. So one of the tellers that works at my branch is now being relocated
For
back
God's
to the
sake.
branch that she came from, while the other teller, who is currently stationed at my branch with me, wait for it, is on maternity leave. So I'm back to working alone on the teller line with my manager covering somewhat in between all of his other responsibilities.
Yeah, I said it
Opened
wouldn't
it.
go well.
Yeah. So you see why I'm kind of hedging on this new job.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Alright, but that aside, the week has been pretty slow. I'm helping with some other editing projects and enjoying stuff and things, and but overall nothing else too remarkable. Just another week.
Mm. I'm so freaking hungry.
Yeah,
Okay,
you should go
let's
eat
wrap this up.
something.
shall we wrap this up so you can get a bite to eat? We don't have Patreon this week, right?
No, it hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah, the receipts
Yeah.
just came in, so it's not done yet.
Okay. So thanks everybody for the Fandom Flux podcast episode.
Do you even know what episode number it is?
Do you?
No, that's why I was asking. Like, hey, take it over and say, oh, the episode, but it's. So, the episode, links in the description, Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description. We talk about how bad Casey is at releasing episodes for Anime Reflux that have started coming out now. Yay. Only literally a year late. So, that's cool. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Until next time.